Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 265 of the Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. I'm your host, as always. I'm Tyler. And joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Tyler. Man, you know what? This week has been very busy. Been learning a lot of new little trades and stuff. Basically, I was trying to learn how to be like a cashier or something like that up front of my workplace. But, other than that, though, the week was just busy, and at some parts it was kind of shitty. I'm not going to be perfectly honest with you. But, best part about this week right now is I'm recording a podcast with you.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Well, I am flattered, Gables.
Yes.
I'm flattered.
So, how have you been doing, man?
I'm doing all right. A little tired today. Saturday night, as always, we're recording. But yesterday we had another golf outing at work. This time, the company always pays for like the golfing in the golf cart.
Yeah.
But the last time I went, they gave you 2 free drink tickets, but that was it. Which still, I'll take it. I'm not complaining. But this time, the plant manager went. So the company bought most of my drinks.
Oh.
So. Well, a little crazy on the free drinks there, but so anyways, plant manager didn't realize it until we started going. Plant manager takes golf a little bit seriously. He's a little competitive when it comes to golf, and he was in my group, or the group ahead of me.
Okay.
And he hit the first shot, and everybody's applauding. Good shot, good job, good shot, nice shot, nice shot. I'm like, that shot sucked ass. And he just turned and looked at me. I'm like, oh, I fucked up.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then they were kind of ahead of us for a good chunk of it, so we catch up here and there, and he talks a lot of shit. So by then I was midway through. We played 18 holes, and then a good chunk of the way through, Tyler had a few too many.
Oh no!
And he kept talking shit, so I started talking shit back.
Oh no!
And I flipped him off a lot, called him a bitch. It was.
Oh
no! I might not have a job Monday. I don't know how it's gonna go. Yeah, I got reeled in a couple times, but overall, you know what? You're gonna say some stuff. I'm gonna say some stuff back. I think that's how it works. But I don't know. Maybe we'll find out Monday. You'll find out next week.
Oh my god! Of course you went that far. Jesus.
Hey,
Tyler.
Hey, he said some stuff too, and I just shot back. Okay.
But you went the extra mile, man. You flipped him off and freaking called him a bitch. You called your boss a bitch. Oh my god.
He flipped me off a few times, and so I feel like overall we're even. But he's the boss, so we'll find out. Yeah. So anyways, I bought a bunch of games this week just because I'm gonna have a lot more free time now. But yeah, no, I went to earlier in the week. I finally gave in, watching a bunch of stuff and listening to podcasts. Picked up Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, easy for me to say. And then I went on Friday to go pick up my pre-order for Hyrule Warriors from GameStop. And while I was there, I picked up. I had a 20% off coupon for my birthday that was about to expire for any used game, and I got Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 for PS4, and then I also got Pokken Tournament for the Switch. So I got a decent amount of new games to play here, and also what I've already been playing, which I'll get to in a second. But you know what? I'm going to start from the beginning because we didn't talk about what we played last week.
Okay.
And then I'm going to work my way up to what I've been playing most currently. So the other stuff I can fly through it pretty quickly. First up, I finished Telltale's Batman Season 2 Enemy Within.
Okay.
The episode 5 came out a little while ago. I finally just got around to it 2 weeks ago, and finished it. It was a average Telltale game, I would say, overall. Telltale is really good at making a great first episode. At worst case scenario for Telltale games is they have a really good first episode and a really good last episode of the season. And this is kind of one of those where like the first episode starts off with a bang, and it's like, okay, this seems like it's gonna be a really good season. Then the episodes 2, 3, and 4, I could barely tell you what happened. And then episode 5 was just like was incredible. Like they, in this one, like you meet. So minor spoilers for season 1. You meet John Doe, who is Joker before he's Joker, and you meet him in the season, and he's in for a little bit in one of the episodes, and he comes in and he's kind of one of the main people in season 2, and he's kind of your friend, and you work together on things, and depending on the choices you make and what you do throughout the season, he can either in episode 5 still be your friend and help you stop the main bad guys, or he can become Joker and he'll become the main bad guy. And it's the first time ever where it seems like your decisions really kind of took big, like there's, for the most part, like you can go A and B for a decision in Telltale games, but you always kind of lead back to the same path. Just minor differences, but for the most part 90% of it's the same. And this one, it's actually seems like the way it plays out is way different with what you do there. In my game, he became the Joker, the main villain.
Oh wow!
So it was really cool. It was really awesome. It was had no issues technically with this, but it's been out for probably about a month, 6 weeks at that point when I played it. But yeah, it was great, and I like the way it ended. I don't know if there's gonna be another one. I think they said they want to make another one, but I don't know if they will or not. But they always kind of leave their seasons open-ended just in case they make another season. But yeah, it was great. From that last episode, I would recommend it if you like the Telltale games, and especially if you played the first season. But lower expectations and wait for a sale. If like the Telltale games are constantly on sale, usually more once every month or so you'll see go on sale. So if you find season pass for $10-15, I say hop on that and play, because it's fun. It's especially now that you can just plow through it all in a row. I think that's what sometimes when those mediocre ones, they're almost easier to let build up and then knock out in a row than it is the other one. I can usually tell how much I'm liking it because I'll play them as they come out if I'm really enjoying a season. And in this case, I like 2, 3, and 4. I think all built up for me. Or no, I played 1 when it first came out, 2 when it first came out, and then I just played 2 or 3 and 4 a couple weeks before episode 5 came out, and then it took me a whole another month or so to play episode 5. So overall, it was pretty good, but it ended on a great note. Next up, I played a game called Garage. It is a Switch game. It was actually shown off at the Nindies event at PAX East a month ago or so. It is like a top-down shooter. It's like a Smash TV or Alien Nation or Zombie Nation game. Or actually, it really reminds me of Hotline Miami. It's kind of 8-bitty, and so in this game you wake up in the trunk of a car. You're in a parking garage, hence the name, and like everything's in chaos right now. There's dead bodies everywhere. Things are on fire. You're trying to make your way through this parking garage and get out alive. And starts off, you get an axe, and then you get a pistol and then a shotgun. But in this, you go through and you just fight a bunch of hordes of enemies. It's a 2-stick kind of shooter where you move around to the left. You aim with the right analog stick, and then I think you shoot with the right trigger. And the shooting is not very good. You take a lot of damage, like fighting off enemies. But you can still kill the enemies fairly easily. But the biggest issue with this game is the goddamn rats. These things are like next to impossible. Like just fighting one of them is a pain in the ass, because the only way you can kill them is by doing a kick move, and you gotta time this perfectly. Because normally the kick move, you can kick an enemy back and then you can shoot them, and it gives you a little space. And with it, and it gives you a lot of leeway with the hit. And this, they do not. You got to time that thing perfectly with the rats, and they do a ton of damage. And especially when you fight like 2 or 3 or 4 of them at a time, those things will take out an entire health bar on me before I even get 1 or 2 killed. And there's like some secret entrances you can find, secret doors. Um, it's okay. It's fine. It's like $20. I don't recommend it at that price. I played it for a couple hours, so I didn't play as much. I heard it's like 6 hours or so, unless you want to find everything. It's more closer to 10. Um, but it's fine. I don't think this is a game you run out and buy for something that was showing up at Nindies. I was expecting a little bit more from it, and it's just fine. Another game I played is a game that's like growing up as a kid is like my dream game. And when I saw this, I showed you the trailer
Yeah.
last weekend, and it just came out I think last Friday. And I didn't know it just kind of it said it was coming out soon, like a couple months ago, and it was on PSN all of a sudden on Friday, and it's called T two. I'm sorry, 2MD VR football, 2 minute drill virtual
Oh yeah,
reality
that's
football.
right. That's right.
Um, so it's a VR game. Obviously, I guess it's been on Oculus or something for a while now, but it's just now made its way to PS4. Basically, it does graphically. It's not impressive at all. The characters are like very, um, almost like stick figures, I guess, in a way. And like they don't really have arms or legs. They just kind of like jump around, and that's how they move. And what it is you play as a quarterback, and you're down by a field goal or about down by like 6 points, and you got 2 minutes to get down to the field and score a touchdown. And if you throw an interception, I think you get like you start over from like the 50-yard line or from the beginning, and you lose like I think like 15 seconds. And if you like turn over, if you go through 4 downs, like in a first down, same thing happens. But basically how it works out is you have to go through like a gauntlet basically of 7 different teams, and you get touchdowns on all of them to finish the game. And it gets dramatically harder every time. Like the first one, you can pretty much get a touchdown in a few plays every single time. But I can't get past the four. I think the fifth one is where I got to. But the actual playing the game itself, like you're not gonna be impressed with the graphics. You go out there and watch a trailer, it's not gonna like you're not gonna be sold by the way it looks. I was sold just because like I said, it's like the game I dreamed of as a kid,
Yeah.
and but like so you hike the ball and like I think you can actually at first I was concerned because there's really no like they give you a tutorial, but they don't really like there's a practice mode you can do, but they don't really explain a whole hell of a lot as far as like how things work. And I'm left-handed, so I was hitting the little back trigger. I don't know I can't remember what it's like the T button or something on the move controller, and I was hiking it with the right hand. I was throwing right-handed, and it was going terribly for me. And I found out you can just basically, if you want to hike it to your left hand and play with the left controller, you just do the same thing with the left move controller, which they didn't tell you that. I just found that out after like my second attempt going through the gauntlet. But the way that I throw feels extremely accurate actually. The only time I have issues is when I'm trying to throw, like if a receiver is doing like a crossing pattern, so they're running from like they're on the left side and they're running to the right side. When I go to throw the ball to the right, from my left hand, I'll put my hand on the move controller in front of my face, so in front of the VR helmet, and I think it'll throw off the camera because it's reading off those sensors, and my hand on the TV will kind of wig out, and I'll throw like a really weird pass. So anytime I try to throw from left to right, when it's just a short pass, I have trouble with it. So those are basically like that whole section is kind of like a no go for me. I can throw like if I'm throwing like a deep pass or like a pass in the middle, or a pass off to the right, but it's a deep one, I'm fine usually on that end. But that's really the only major issue I found with it, as far as like technical gifts on it. But overall, I mean, it's awesome. It and like other than that, I feel like anytime I throw a bad pass, it's my fault. Like I've thrown a lot of bad passes, and you definitely learn like kind of like so because you throw it and like you hold the button down and you throw it and you let go of the button, and that's kind of when it releases it. And I've been trying to like figure out like it's kind of like when you play like Wii bowling, you're trying to figure out when you let go of the B button on your Wiimote. You let go of it too soon, too early, whatever. Find that perfect roll. Same thing with this, and I haven't found it yet, but I played it for a couple hours, and it is a hell of a lot of fun. It's like $10. I think it might be 13 now. I think if you bought it the first week, it was a discount. Like you got $3 off.
Yeah.
But if you have a VR helmet, I mean, this isn't like anything. This isn't like a system seller. This isn't going to make you want to go out and buy a VR headset. It's just another notch in the belt of a reason to buy one, I'd say. But it's like one of the first, like Moss was the first game that kind of made me like really happy I bought a VR helmet, and this is another game that's really like kind of made it worth that. And it's a game, and it was great because I played it for, like I said, a couple 2 hours straight. I played it for, and I came out of it and I felt perfectly fine. No headache, no lightheadedness, no nausea, nothing like that. First time in a long time I played a VR game and I didn't feel sick.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because that was my biggest concern. Because I bought it. And I'm just like, I was scared. I've been really scared. I have all these VR games I want to play, but I'm scared to play it because if I play it, pretty much if I get sick, I'm pretty much done for the day. I'm losing that entire day. And so it was great that I played it and didn't get sick. Maybe I got lucky. Maybe it's just the way the game works out. I don't know. But yeah, it was really cool. Another game I mentioned, I picked up Hyrule Warriors. I played the first 2 levels and immediately went back to Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I played the first world of that a few days ago, and then I went to go play Hyrule Warriors. I'm like, fuck this, I'm gonna go play. I'm like, I'm enjoying not that I'm enjoying not enjoying Hyrule Warriors, but I've actually been really hooked on Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I picked it up on the Wii U a few years ago, and I don't know if like I wasn't like at the time, but like I picked it up, and I don't know if I just wasn't feeling it, I wasn't in the mood for it. But I played the first like world and a half, and I just like I'm not really liking this. And I think I talked about it on the show back then. I kind of want to go back and listen and see what I said, but I haven't done that yet. But I'm already in like I just finished. I literally just beat the boss on World 4 when when you told me you were on Skype. I was like, I'll be on in a minute, and I'm in the middle of the boss fight. So yeah, I mean, I beat the first world on like Thursday, and then I was busy with the golf thing on Friday, and then today I've beaten 2, 3, and 4. So I have been. It's really it's so hard, man. I've been dying constantly in this game. Luckily I've been finding a bunch of those like gold coins that you can buy. You can go talk to Funky Kong, and you can buy more lives with them, because otherwise I would have that game over like 50 times already.
Wow.
But yeah, man, I can definitely see why like Justin has been raving about this game for like 3 or 4 years, and then whenever I hear people talk about this game, they just talk about how it's one of the best platformers of all time. I'm just like, really? No, it ain't. And I'm not gonna say it's all time great, just because I want to get more into it, but it's definitely really good. Like it's for me, like it's been a lot of fun. I still like like the 3D Mario platformer games a lot more, but yeah, it's been a hell of a lot of fun. The only thing I really do not like is any of like the levels that involve minecarts, or like the Rhino. Yeah, so the minecart levels, I think parts of them are fun, but then there's always like that one section in every level that's like takes me like 45 minutes to beat, and then I finished. I think World 4, like half of it is underwater, and I hate like there's one thing Nintendo does that they don't do well to me, and that's water levels in any of their games. Whether it's a water temple in Zelda, water levels in Mario, or Donkey Kong, like I hate them. And this is other than Wind Waker. That's like the one thing they got right that involves water. But yeah, other than that, I mean, those parts are extremely frustrating. But other than that, like, and one other small thing I do actually have a gripe with is that you hit like the X and Y button, he does like a ground pound thing.
Yeah.
But also when you hit the X and Y button, if you're standing still, he'll do the ground pound. But if you're moving, you'll do a roll. And I don't know how many times I have died rolling off the side of a platform when I mean to do a ground pound, and it is infuriating. So like I've gotten better at that. Like I'll stop and like wait like a second. I'm like, okay, now I'm good. Now I'll do the ground pound. But yeah, I feel like it was 50-50, like random, like he's still kind of moving, so he's gonna do a roll about. Oh, he's dead now. And oh no, he did a ground pound. I needed him to roll, but he did a ground pound. Damn it, I just got hit. But yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. Thoroughly enjoying that game. Very good chance I'll probably beat it tomorrow at the rate I'm going. But that's, yeah, like I played a bunch of stuff the last couple weeks, when in the last couple months I really haven't been playing much. So that time of year, a lot of good games coming out, a lot of cool stuff, and we got Detroit next week, so that's even
Oh
awesome.
yeah,
It's
that's
pretty
true
awesome.
too.
So yeah, that's what I've been playing. What about you, Gables?
Well, to continue on from last week, well, actually not last week, but the last couple of weeks ago, I was playing more of Pokemon Ultra Moon, and I am happy to report that I have beaten Pokemon Ultra Moon. As far as the after game content goes, I really have no interest right at the moment. But the thing about it is, I finally finished what I set it off to do. I mean, before I was just playing through the Pokemon games. Like, okay, I beat one, then another one, then another one, and it's like, you know what? At this point, I'm gonna see how far this goes, and it went all the way with me beating 8 Pokemon games in a row. I have never done that for any game franchise or for anything of that sort, and this event of itself is kind of impressive in my honest opinion, because it's like I kind of had like little bits of doubts here and there. It's like, okay, it's like, am I gonna keep on doing this like for this and that? Maybe I'll get tired to do something else or something like that. But yeah, it's I ended up beating 8 Pokemon games in a row. It just kind of surprised me. So anyway, with the last portion of the game, I went through and I finished the rest of the grand trials and stuff. Nothing, no really big issues or anything. I went through and I got the rest of my party. So for my party, it consisted of my starter, which I fully evolved into a Primarina. I had used the QR code stuff that I had gotten off the internet, for checking out to see if I can get some rare Pokemon. And the rare Pokemon that I ended up getting on the first island from Melee Melee was Charmander.
Nice, dude.
Dude, I got so lucky with that, and when I told one of my friends about it, she got all fucking angry. It's like, really? Because
Some would say the best Pokemon.
dude, it was totally surprising. And the best part about it, it was a adamant Charmander. Meaning I could just basically teach it like all these physical attacks, these great physical attacks, and it just took me through the entire game. So for him, that Charmander that I fully evolved to a Charizard, his name was Duke. And Duke, I'll tell you what, he knew Brick Break, he knew Fire Punch, he had like Wing Attack and stuff like that, but he had some great physical moves that he can go through, just basically just take out anything in his wake. My next Pokemon I had on my team was a Mimikyu, which I actually got through the GTS, the Wonder Trade stuff, actually. I got him off the Wonder Trade just off chance and stuff. Some random person just like traded me this and that. And I ended up teaching the thing Toxic, because when you're going through that game and you get to that one part with like Necrozma, Ultra Necrozma, that damn thing can one-shot you. Like any one of your party members. It does not matter if your if like say your team is like well equipped or really high leveled. It's because of all the stat increases it does at the beginning of the battle that I actually had to try to figure out a little strategy. And how you do that is because Mimikyu has the ability Disguise. It could take a hit. It's basically like a free turn of using Substitute without the HP cost. And so basically what I did is I went with Toxic. That Ultra Necrozma would hit Mimikyu. It would destroy its decoy, but I would get the Toxic off, and basically all I had to do was just survive with my other party members, and it would just kill itself with freaking toxic poisoning. But yeah, that was Mimikyu. The other Pokemon I remember having here was it's a Pokemon called Mudsdale, which is basically just a ground horse. It was just a mud horse, pretty much. And it used all these like various ground attacks and stuff. I named her, I think it was Penelope. That's right. It was just something just right off course. It was the second Pokemon game in a row where I just basically went off. I got the rideable creature, For Pokemon X it was Go-Goat. For this game it was Mudsdale and stuff. So basically I went through that entire game. It was very defense swabby. I'll tell you what. It had this ability called Stamina, which anytime it would take a physical hit from another Pokemon, its defense would increase every time it was hit by a move. So I combined that with the move that I learned later on in the game, Iron Defense, and the thing would be almost impenetrable for any physical attacks. So that was pretty cool. The next Pokemon I caught a Noivern, which is basically, it's from like the 6th generation, and it's like a bat, right? This bat that evolves into a dragon with oh gosh, let's see, it was a Noibat and it evolves into a Noivern. So Noivern is this quick special attacking flying dragon type. Basically, it was pretty fun to use towards the later part of the game when it wasn't when it was actually evolved and it can actually be of use and not like just getting 1-2 hitted by things towards the end of the Grand Trial stuff. But I think the last Pokemon I had in my party, I did have a full party of 6. I think I touched upon most. But the last Pokemon I had was a Halucha. The one Pokemon that's like part flying, part fighting, but it looks like a luchador. Yeah, I nicknamed her Lady J. And basically, what she did was she could just get off like flying press. She can get off like these crazy ass powerful fighting type moves. And she's the main Pokemon now that I use with a false swipe, so I can try to do like SOS, chaining and stuff. See if I can try to find like random shiny Pokemon. But I'll tell you what, most of my team consisted of flying types, or at least part of flying types. That is something that I've never done either. It was pretty fun though. Until I came across the random electric type Pokemon, which would be a pain in the ass to try to get, try to take out. But then again, I had my Mudsdale, so ground type, taking out like this and that, until you come across a Pokemon by the name of Vikavolt, which is that electric flying type that has Levitate.
Huh.
It has the move Levitate, which is impervious to ground attacks. So that one trial where I had to face off against this electric type Captain Sophocles, I think his name was. Yeah, it was kind of a bit difficult trying to get all that shit done, but otherwise, yeah, I went through the final portion of Pokemon Ultra Moon, went through all the Ultra Necrozma stuff, went through all the Elite Four, and even the Champion, which I gotta admit, that was so epic because I felt it, that last portion. It's like, oh man, this is the final portion of my journey. This is what happened, after just setting off a couple months ago, doing all these Pokemon games, and all of a sudden, it ended in the most, dramatic way possible. It was my rivals Incineroar against my Primarina, and I basically used the Z Crystal for Primarina's finishing move, the operatic this big old water attack, right? Which basically looks like a giant spirit bomb that Goku would use. And this gigantic bubble, Tyler, I mean a massive bubble that's looks like a gigantic energy ball. And she just tosses it, and basically this Ghost just one shots the Incineroar. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ! So that was a big bang at the end of that thing. So, yeah, I finished out Pokemon Ultra Moon, and since then, I've been sort of kind of at a loss, because it's I've finished up my Poke Warriors way, what I wanted to do. There probably are going to be another couple Pokemon games announced pretty soon, or whenever, maybe E3, maybe sooner, who knows. But at this point, I have really no idea in what gaming direction I'm going to go. I mean, it's basically what I'm feeling at this point. I got God of War. And I also picked up Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition yesterday. Excuse me. Hiccuping. But while I was out and about today, I decided to play a little bit more of Kirby Star Allies because, well, hell, I had some time to burn. And I went through the second world, and I'm almost halfway through the third world and stuff. I heard the game doesn't really last too long, but from what I've seen and stuff, yeah, the difficulty has not really improved as much. It's still really simple to go through. It's basically, you can collect things and 100% complete things if you want to, but I just want to go through and just finish up the game, because I get the feeling that it's not going to be too much longer until I actually go and beat the game in and of itself, but that way I could just, put that aside once I'm finished with it, and then I just go and probably start God of War,
Yeah, buddy.
So other than that, though, that's pretty much what I've been playing. But I'll tell you what, from what I've played, I've accomplished a lot.
Yeah, you have. You stole my segue, you SOB. I had it all prepared, ready to go. I was going to go, we're going to segue right into the Pokemon Switch rumors. But then you had to talk about Kirby, goddammit. You son of a bitch. But no, that's fine.
Kirby is always the combo breaker. Anyway.
Yes, he is. But like I said, we're just gonna move on to some of the news now. But that's really cool though, Gables. That's
Yeah.
it's been like what 2-3 months now of this Poke Warriors way.
Yeah.
And the fact,
24 volume stuff that I posted on fucking Facebook.
yeah. So that's cool that it's the journey's over. I
Yeah.
wouldn't I'd be at a loss too, I guess. If you go play, it'd be like me playing nothing but Madden for 2-3 months,
And then all of a sudden, it's like, I'm done. I finally got through with my career mode. It's like, now what do I do?
yeah. So that's cool. But we're gonna move on to some of the news now. Once again, it's obviously we're heading up to E3, so a bunch of news. What's gonna really suck though is like we're gonna have like 6 weeks of like all kind like too much news to talk about.
Yep.
Like I was talking to you about before the show, like we're like looking at news, I'm like, oh yeah, Rage 2 was announced. Like I was saying to you, I'm like, if that was announced in July, somewhere between July and through April, that would have been like the main topic of our show.
It would have been.
But in May and June, it's like I'm like, do we even bother talking about that? Which this might be the most we talk about that. It's based off what we saw, but it's really gonna suck in about a month when after all this news and all this excitement, we're gonna hit that dead zone in like late June and July.
Yeah, it's unavoidable.
But I'm gonna enjoy it for the time being because it's the most wonderful time of the year to be a gamer. As far as it's like Christmas. That's for not getting games, this is like the best time because like all these cool stuff's happening. So, anyways, moving on to the news. We're just gonna once again we're gonna start with Nintendo stuff. We're gonna roll through that because once again a lot of Nintendo news rumors and stuff coming out right now. But going on with Pokemon Switch, more rumors. We've been talking about it every time something pop up. Well, now it seems like some substantial stuff has happened. So an anonymous user on 4chan uploaded what they claim to be the names and logos of upcoming Pokemon games: Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu Edition and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee Edition. People might remember we talked about it a month or two ago. There was a believed to be a leaked screenshot, and it was what looked like to be a Lapras.
Like it appeared to be like your trainer NPC or something like that, riding on top of a Lapras, and what people thought was like a part of Cinnabar, like that route to Cinnabar Island or something from Red and Blue.
Yep, and also on that Lapras.
Lapras. Yeah,
Lapras. Thank you. I can never remember if there's a D in there or not. But people were saying it looked like there was an Eevee on there, which I think that a lot of people didn't believe it because of that. Well, according to the rumors of this, and it seems like they're fairly accurate, or at least people are buying into it because everybody's covering it now. But according to this, this is a remake of Pokemon Yellow, and whatever you pick, Pikachu or Eevee Edition, that Pokemon will follow you around just like Pikachu did in Yellow back in 1998. That kind of, if that's true, that kind of makes that screenshot, which a lot of people believe to be fake, might actually be real. And according to also going on with these rumors is Game Freak is exploring ways to connect their games to the wildly popular Pokemon Go. I'm reading this based off of a Kotaku article, by the way, which they did confirm that back in 2016 that the next big Pokemon game they wanted to bring Pokemon Go into the mold a little bit, which 2016, a much different landscape for Pokemon Go. It's still popular, but not the way it was in 2016 or 15. So also internet sleuths discovered that websites PokemonLet'sGoPikachu.com and PokemonLet'sGoEevee.com were registered by CSC Corporate Domains.inc, which is the same company that acts as a tech contact for the official Pokemon Sun and Moon website. So that's something, and also the same company that bought the domains not only the domains for the website, but the basically I can't remember what you want to call it, what it is, but basically like the patent for the names. The same company that got those is the same company that got Sun and Moon as well. So it's probably the same company. There's some talk that catching Pokemon will work like it does in Go. So maybe if you're playing on handheld, you can use the touchscreen. Like I said, it's a remake of Yellow. Red and Blue are going to be in the game, but you play as somebody else. So it seems like it might be kind of like what Gold and Silver was, where like people may not remember, but after you beat the Johto region, you went back to Kanto. I got those right, didn't I?
Yeah,
Johto, then
yeah.
okay, yeah. Johto was the second generation. So after you beat Johto, you went back to Kanto, and you replayed that entire area, and it was exactly the same as Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. And at the end of it, you fought the Elite Four, and at the end of it, you fought Red, which was basically your character from the first generation,
Yep.
which was really cool back in the day. One of the coolest things of my childhood was realizing you're going to Kanto, and also you're going to fight basically your character from the first game. But anyways, so it sounds like Red and Blue are going to be, like I said, they're going to be in the game, but you're going to play somebody else. So some of the talk out there is this is going to take place a little bit in like 5-10 years in the future, where these guys are like kind of like, so the rumor back then when I saw the screenshot was, oh, this is like it's in the Kanto region, but it's a little different. There was talks that maybe it's 100 years in the future, or it's years later, or whatever. And it sounds like going back now, looking at that maybe that was quite accurate. Some of those thoughts were, because that's kind of more the rumors was that it's going to be a little bit further in the future. Essentially it's a remake of Yellow, but it's basically really more of a sequel to Yellow. I think there were some other things in there too, but those are kind of the key things coming out of it. Gables, my friend,
Yes.
you're the Pokemon guy. Where are you at with these rumors? If these are true, first off, two-part question to this. Do you think these are true? And if they are true, are you in on this? Are you hyped for this?
All right. What is true at this moment in time is how the previous Pokemon games, like Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, even to a certain extent Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, most of these games, or if I'm more accurately saying, all the games I just mentioned were actually, registered trademark icons and stuff like that by that same, I think, by the same company that actually has uploaded some of the domain names and stuff like that for Pokemon, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. I think because of that, it gives more merit, and I feel that these games do exist to the extent where I believe they are real, and we will hear about them very soon.
Oh yeah, that's one thing. They said that they'll be announced. They'll be revealed before E3. That was one other thing I forgot to mention. Go on.
Let's see. The other type of rumors that were going around, the whole maybe like a post-apocalyptic sort of thing with maybe Kanto underwater and some of these like legendary stuff like this. I mean, I've heard those rumors. I've checked into some of them, and it's just more than that. I feel is rumors. I think this is just some sort of little bit of a red herring, or maybe it could be something pertaining to maybe, I don't know, Generation 8. But at the same time, I don't think it really collaborates with what has been going through right now with the whole Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee thing. So I think that rumor is probably a bunch of crap. But what is more than likely what's going to happen right here, I feel that not only is the Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee games, they are real, it seems like at this point. But what I feel is more like real is these are probably going to be like probably radically different sort of Pokemon games than what we're more accustomed to. I mean, like you was just saying, maybe like some of the rumored stuff was going to be more like integrated or something, like let's say Pokemon Go like features, the whole thing with a touch screen, this and of itself. As for my excitement level, it's kind of like a mixed bag. I mean, I've read a whole bunch of like other people's reactions after this trademark stuff went live and stuff. There's a lot of people that really hate it. There's some that really like it. It's definitely polarizing, to say the least, with the reactions. However, if I were to when I do see more of it and stuff, I would probably drift more to probably picking up the Let's Go Eevee line, say, for that type of a game. Why do I say that? Is because Eevee can evolve into many different types of Pokemon. It doesn't necessarily have to be one evolution, like say like with Pikachu. is going through. But what's kind of funny is there is also a little bit of interesting news that came out of a recent interview in regards to, say, Ken Sugimori and like some of the other like people that were responsible for creating Pikachu. And this actually came by, this news actually was let's see, leaked by the gaming press or something like that over like about a week or so ago, I believe. But now is getting like revealed to this point where Pikachu actually had a scrapped evolution.
Yep.
We all know Raichu, right? But apparently back in first generation, there was another Pokemon. There was another evolution that was was supposed to be in the game, and that was a Pokemon by the name of what they are calling Gorochu. Now, Gorochu, if you go through like some of the folklore, some of the stuff, is more or less in Norse mythology. I think it's like more akin to Odin or something. I'm not sure. But basically the sound of it gives it, it just basically would mean like thunder, pretty much. But the whole thing is, just imagine like, say, Raichu, right? But instead of like being like all frilly and stuff, have it be like, say, with horns and fangs, pretty much. But looking kind of like what Pikachu or Raichu does. And the reason why they ended up like cutting the idea is because they were afraid of balance issues, which kind of is laughable at this point because playing through Red, Blue, and Yellow, there are many different Pokemon that have balance issues, and some you can abuse so much. I can name off a few, for example, like, say, the number one thing, Snorlax? Amnesia Snorlax. The freaking move that boosts up the freaking special meter of Snorlax so much that if you use like about 2 of them, you can actually one-hit Pokemon with fucking Surf. I've done that. Any type of psychic Pokemon, really, or psychic type moves in general in Gen 1 are like really OP, but hence, that aside, I'm kind of interested in seeing if they introduce a new evolution for Pikachu inside this Let's Go Pikachu game. Because there's got to be a little bit more than just selling it on the basis of, oh, hey, it's just Pikachu himself, and you can evolve into Raichu if you want to. Because we're at this kind of like crossroads, Tyler, where we haven't seen like any type of gameplay yet of it. We're suspecting it could be like a traditional Pokemon game. But if people were to buy any of these versions, what are they going to more or less go for? Are they going to go for, say, the more popular choice and say like picking like a Pikachu or something like that? Or are they going to go with Eevee because of the whole multiple choices? I mean, hell, Eevee can evolve into one of, I want to say, God, like about 8 different Pokemon? I'm trying to think of it this way. It's like you have the original Eevee evolutions with Jolteon, Flareon, Vaporeon. Then Generation 2 introduced Espeon and Umbreon. Gen 4 introduced Glaceon and Leafeon. And then the last one, which is 8, is Sylveon in like Gen 6. So it's like you have a lot of different choices. But honestly, like I said before, I am mixed with it. But I still need to see some footage. I need to see them unveil it, which, if rumors are correct, they're probably going to be doing it maybe as soon as next week.
Yep. Which I hope is true, because the sooner the better.
Agreed.
For this. Because I am almost literally foaming at the mouth in excitement for this game. The hype of this game the game might not be able to ever live up to what I'm feeling right now, but I don't care, because I want to know. I just want to know at this point. Just tell me, please. But I'm with you in the point now. I think with a lot of people where I feel like these are real. Maybe some of the details about the game are not right or not completely accurate.
Yeah.
But the names themselves seem completely legit. And Pokemon games, Nintendo was always for a long time really good. Like you rarely ever heard rumors or leaks from them. In the last few years, they've gotten pretty bad about it.
I think they do that on purpose, honestly, to get hype.
Yeah, and that could be maybe just in the way things have gone for them in the last 5-6 years. Maybe they're like, okay, well, we need to build up some excitement for us instead of holding the cards close to the vest there. But yeah, I don't know. But Pokemon games have always, 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 for the longest time, and I know they're not the Nintendo owned property, but they've always leaked every single time.
Yep.
I mean, X and Y leaked all the time. I mean, we were talking about rumors for that before it was even unveiled. Same with Sun and Moon. I feel like we were talking about that for a whole year before they actually unveiled it. The Mega Evolution stuff was leaked well before it was revealed. Ultra Sun and Moon we knew about before I think Sun and Moon even released. The only thing we got wrong there was everybody thought it was going to be called Pokemon Star, which ended up splitting off into Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. But everything else was completely accurate. And I'm still of the mind that they were, they remade Omega Ruby and Sapphire.
Yeah.
I still feel like that this game was probably being worked on for the 3DS, and then when the Switch kind of took off, Nintendo's like, all right, we need a Pokemon game. So I feel like this was a pivot to the Switch. I don't think this is going to blow people away graphically or the way it looks. I think it'll look better. I don't feel like this is going to be the real, true. Still, I've said this. I don't know multiple times before, but I don't feel like this is going to be the true like Pokemon on console game that we've always wanted. But I feel like it's going to be a one step closer to that. It's going to be that half step to there. But I mean, this is where I wanted to go for a long time, and I said this a few times before too. I know that, but that this would be the perfect game. Like if you're gonna do like the Gen 1 stuff, this is the perfect time to do it on the Switch, on the handheld. The thing is selling like hotcakes right now. You want to strike while it's hot. You don't want to. I mean, maybe jumping into Gen 8 would be difficult for people. Maybe like I could see like a Pokemon X and Y that would be perfect. Maybe as like a perfect first game for the Switch for Pokemon games, where it's like, hey, like that's what got me back into it. That's what got a lot of people back into it. Still the highest selling Pokemon games of all time, or at least since Gen 1. Is like, hey, here's all of the stuff that you loved back for you people that are that casual fans or people that played it back in the day or just know a Pokemon. And here's all the new stuff too with it. It was a really great way of intertwining those together with the old with the new. But I feel like I think these are the two best ways to go. Either start with Gen 1 or do Gen 7. And for me, as someone that loved Pokemon, with Gen 1 and Gen 2 and fell off, like I've said several times before, until Pokemon X, this is like my dream scenario for what they can do. The post-apocalyptic stuff, I don't know if I want that. I hope it's more of like I said, the 5 to 10 years in the future. And then you got Pokemon, you got Red and Blue out there. They're the kings of basically the Pokemon Masters out there, and you're just like the nobody that's gonna take them down eventually. So I don't know. I am all of these details sound incredibly cool, except for some of the Pokemon Go stuff. Depending on how much they intertwine that in there, I'm trying to figure out how, other than maybe they just copy the way you catch Pokemon in that game, with the touchscreen, which I play my Switch docked 99% of the time. The only time I play it undocked is when the power goes out at my house. But it's summertime, so I mean that's usually when it goes out.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I live down the street from the generators, and they go out all the fucking time.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm so hyped for this game, and everything. Like I'm reading everything I can about this. It's got me hooked like very few games do at this point in time for me anymore. But yeah, I can't wait. Hopefully, that was part of the rumors. We'll hear about it sometime as early as this coming week. So I hope that's true, because I don't know if I want to wait 3 more weeks to hear about it potentially. And real quick, 2018, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
They are very much pressuring. Nintendo is very much pressuring for a Pokemon release at the end of this year, and I don't think it's going to be drifting into 2019. And let's think of it this way: traditionally, the past couple Pokemon games have been revealed at least a couple of weeks before E3. Mm-hmm. And this is exactly that time of the year and stuff where it could definitely happen. It could be as simple as, say, they announce like a Nintendo Direct thing, say like a Tuesday morning or something at like 6 a.m. or some shit. That's what they did for Sun and Moon, pretty much.
Yep, they did. Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon were both announced in late May.
Yep.
So we're at that point. So Um, but let's go ahead and move on to some other Nintendo topics here. Um, we'll do this one next. So NES Classic and SNES Classic. We've talked about that quite a bit. Justin and I have argued several times about the handling of this. But they announced it last year that they're going to bring back the NES Classic in the summer of 2018, and that they were going to bring back the SNES Classic too, which not really a big ordeal because I feel like the SNES Classic is, for the most part, if you want one, if you really, really, really want one, you got one.
Yep.
Like I still regularly.
I got one.
Yeah, you got one. I regularly see them. I literally had one in my cart just yesterday. I do it like every couple weeks. I'll see a thing on Twitter about it's on Amazon or it's on GameStop or whatever, and I'll put it in my cart. And I'm like, I don't need to get that one. I've owned one before. I owned the European one. I would argue the best version, the European version. And it never. I had it sitting on my desk for 2 months and never even opened it. I gave it away for Extra Life.
Yep.
But NES Classic, SNES Classic, they're gonna be back June 29th. They announced that a few days ago, and actually on Friday, the Spanish or the Spain Amazon website was taking pre-orders for the NES Classic, which I also had one of those in my cart. As big of a pain in the ass as it was to get in there and figure out what the hell it was saying. I got it in the cart, and I didn't hit the purchase button, but it was there. So I think this is cool. And they said they plan on selling them for the rest of the year. So I'm glad that they're coming out. You know, they've said the end of last year that hey, we're gonna bring it back in the summertime, and also they come out about a little over a month before they're gonna come out. It gave us a heads up. Hey, they're coming. It seems like they're gonna take pre-orders for them, and also they give us a timeline of hey, you want one? You got 6 months. You got 5 months to get one. So I think that's really cool, and I just the only key thing is the stock of them. I hope it's not the same where it's like I know eventually over time the rumor was they sold about 5 million of them, but those things could have sold so much more if they I mean, and part of that was they don't think they realized the demand, and also they fucked up by not doing pre-orders.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it's the way they're communicating this is way better. Now it's just how many did they make? I think is gonna be the key thing. I know I'm probably gonna buy in the hype. I'm probably gonna buy one, especially seeing the fact this is probably the last time you can actually buy one.
Yep.
And not pay an absorbent amount of money. It's just kind of cool to have. I think, especially something that as rare as it's gonna be. But yeah, I think it seems like it's still gonna be $60. But I know you got both already, Gables. But
no, I don't have both. I don't have both. My little brother has both.
Oh yeah.
Because I got that NES Classic used at that fucking GameStop I go to off the off chance. That was just a random
still crazy
thing.
That's fucking crazy to me that happened. I can't believe that. And
I know.
$60.
I'm just thinking about the absurdity right now where it's like that was probably like one of two at that fucking place, and all of a sudden it's like it just gone back just randomly. It's like, hey, I gotta sell this off, you know, blah blah blah, and I just just end up being there, right place, right time. But no, I'm looking.
Whoever
to pick
sold
up...
that probably has to feel like an idiot. Sorry.
Yeah, probably. But yes, I'm still in the mood to try to get an NES Classic for myself, and that's the only one that I haven't got. So I got my SNES Classic, just set up, just perfectly on my TV stand. I'm just staring at it right now. So yeah, I definitely would love to have a little NES portable one like that. So yeah, I'm waiting for it.
Yep. So, like I said, I'm probably just gonna I probably should just end up buying both of them just to have them. But it's stupid, but I'll probably do it. I really just want to get the NES Classic just because of the rarity of it.
Oh yeah.
But and just it's kind of a cool thing. But I stand by the thing where the interest. It's not my thing. But yeah, it's cool. It's coming back, and I hope the people that really want one this time can actually get one.
Yeah.
But moving on to some more Nintendo rumors this week. So it sounds like Retro's game that we've all been talking about it, speculating about it for it seems like 4 years now. So I guess Tropical Freeze came out.
Yep.
In early 2014. Sounds like they are making a Star Fox game, and not just a Star Fox game, but a racing Star Fox game, and allegedly it's called Star Fox Grand Prix. And this is from a rumor or from an article on NintendoLife.com, but this is what they said in it. Sounds like it's more keen to engine racing on the PlayStation, a game from the creators of Wipeout, which all players racing against one another in fighter jets. Gameplay mixes racing with classic Star Fox moments. Blasting enemies will give you a speed boost, and you can shoot other players too. Each Grand Prix consists of 3 tracks and a boss battle, and when you are not racing, you can walk around a help area and interact with famous faces from the Star Fox series. So people are saying it's kind of like a mix of F-Zero and Diddy Kong Racing, which I know a lot of people love Diddy Kong Racing, and there's a lot of people out there that still clamor for a new F-Zero game. But this is allegedly the game that Retro's been working on. It sounds like, so there's a lot of rumors back that they're working on 2 games, and one was like is it the new, one of them's a Metro game, or it's a Donkey Kong game, and then also the other one was it's their own original IP game. Well, it sounds like the original IP game they were making was canceled some time ago, and they've been working on this. I don't know how long. There's no time frame of how long they've been working on it, but it also sounds like this is going to be a 2019 game. So Gables, 2 questions. Like same with Pokemon. Do you believe these rumors are true? And if they are true, what are your thoughts on this game?
All right. I personally believe that yes, the Star Fox rumors are true. The reason why I believe that is because I've been reading rumblings upon potentially Retro working on potentially like a Diddy Kong Racing style game as early as say like a couple of years ago. Reading the rumors and going through like just seeing all the things. Oh hey, they're working on this next Diddy Kong Racing blah 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 and so on and so forth. So what it seems like to me is probably a mid-project. They probably got the okay or something like that to use the Star Fox license, considering how Star Fox, what was it? Star Fox, like, what was the last? Zero, yeah. I'm looking at the game right now on my bookcase. But considering how well or how mediocre Star Fox Zero sold in the Wii U, they probably went to the drawing board and probably had something like completely different, and that's probably when they brought Rare into the case. That's probably why they had to cancel that original IP that they were rumored to be making as well, because they wanted to try to get a kind of like a reinvention of Star Fox, as you will, where it's more akin. It has elements of Star Fox using your R-Wing, doing this and that, but you can do like Star Fox like boss battles and stuff. Potentially kind of similar to how you could in Diddy Kong Racing, where you basically had a couple of races you could do that you could face like a boss character or something like that. You know, Whizpig from like fucking Diddy Kong Racing and stuff. Just think of it that way, Tyler. And plus, let's look at it this way. There have been elements of like things that could potentially be used in sort of like a pseudo F-Zero Diddy Kong Racing hybrid game in Star Fox games as well. I'm thinking about the whole thing with the on-rails thing for the Landmaster, and then like say from like Star Fox 2 and like freaking Star Fox 64 to some extent, where you could use like different types of like variations of the R-Wing, say like the Landmaster, or like that whole helicopter thing like in Star Fox Zero and all this other stuff. It kind of helps support in a way like this potentially being real. I mean, personally, I want this to be real because I want it to be something that's going to be invigorating, and not just invigorating, but just something that sparks new life inside that franchise that has not really been too relevant since Star Fox 64.
Yeah.
Almost 20 years, and they still haven't found that one like game that's going through and like making that bigger than what it should be right at the moment. So, let's see. What was the other part of your question?
Oh, if you thought it was true, and if you're excited, if you're wanting to play this, if it is true.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I would be really excited to play this type of a game. I mean, well, I know it's real, but if they go ahead and show it off at E3 and they give us like the 2019 sort of like moniker and stuff, I'd be perfectly okay with that. As long as the gameplay looks fun, the levels look creative, the boss battles look intense, plus it's just something, that's just completely out of left field, That could be the major surprise that we've been waiting for for a Nintendo game, out of left field.
Yeah. Um, I'm much like in the Pokemon sense. I do believe these are true, but Justin and I were texting a couple weeks ago, and he was asking me, "Do you think they're like?" He was asking like, "Where does he was throwing out there like, do you think there'd be a Pikmin game, a new Luigi's Mansion game, a new Star Fox game announced?" And for the Star Fox one, I told him I don't see it happening. I feel like Star Fox needs to go away for a while after Zero. That was their first real attempt at making a Star Fox game. I know there's been some there's a DS one out there. There's Star Fox Adventures. There's another GameCube one in there, but this is the first real attempt at a Star Fox game since 64, and that was 1996, 1997 when that came out. And it came out, and I know a lot of people, some people liked it, but for the most part, people hated that game, and
there were a couple reasons why people hated Star Fox Zero. One was basically a retelling of Star Fox 64, and two, it was the whole freaking control scheme. I don't care how many times Miyamoto or whoever wants to try to tell, oh, hey, this control scheme is not too bad. I'm trying to control that freaking gamepad, that tablet gamepad, trying to go through and just look at that while trying to look at the screen, try to dual task, multitask while doing that stuff. Yeah. That was not fun. That was annoying. And I would have much rather just had it be like just the pro controller or whatever and just play through the game that way.
Yeah.
Personally.
And, I mean, there was that, and also I think, that game was supposed to be a Wii game, and we couldn't figure out how to make it work on the Wii, so now we ported it to the Wii U. It seemed and it felt like that was like a game that was like, we put a lot of money in this, just put it out. Kind of scenario. And also I feel like that, if that game would have came out and it was $20 and it was a digital download kind of game, it would have been, I don't know if, I'm not going to say people would have loved it, but I think it
wouldn't have gotten as much heat. As it did.
The anticipation for it, maybe not the anticipation, but the I guess the expectations, the level it needed to be up to would have been lowered. So instead of being a $60 title for what was essentially a 2-hour game, it would have set the expectations a lot less than made it a little more accurate of what it should have been. So I'm a little bummed out to hear that, after all these years, every year at E3 we speculate and talk about what's Retro going to do. They're going to finally announce the next Retro game.
I know,
and
right?
Kind of find out it's a Star Fox racing game. A little disappointing, I'm like, okay, let's see what Retro can do on their own. What can they make that, and kind of find out, they've rejuvenated Metroid, they rejuvenated Donkey Kong. Even though Donkey Kong is still the best Donkey Kong.
What's kind of interesting in that regard is the parallels between the reactions whenever they come out, say with a game for a particular Nintendo franchise. Immediately it's taken from the fan base or something like that as like, oh my god, they're doing this and stuff like that, this is gonna be complete shit, or whoa, I'm worried because of this and that. Back in the day when Metroid Prime was announced and it was going to be made by a studio that no one knew about, Retro Studios, man, there were people just absolutely pissed because they were so used to, say, games like Super Metroid and this and that, and then all of a sudden Metroid Prime came out and it became one of the best games of that generation. Now flash forward right here, you have when Retro went ahead and came back, after years of doing the Metroid Prime games and stuff, and they did Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze by that way. People were initially just kind of like, Donkey Kong or something like that, they should be making more Metroids, this is gonna be shit. And what happened? They go through, they pretty much reinvigorated Donkey Kong Country, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
game and Tropical Freeze, and then I'm just saying, there's just parallels. I'm not just saying you thought is this and that or something, Tyler. It's just, I'm seeing the same things happening again with this whole Star Fox thing and this whole news. Wouldn't that be kind of funny if, say, they, Nintendo goes forth and announces this game at the E3 press conference and stuff, then all of a sudden all these negative things about, Star Fox be popping up by the gaming press in and of itself, but when it finally releases, it's probably going to be one of the best games for that system?
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
I don't know if I mean, Breath of the Wild out there. I don't know if it'll be the best game
One of the
of the
best
system.
games. I said I
Yeah,
didn't
one
say
of.
the
Oh,
best.
sorry. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I didn't hear that part. I'm like, oh, calm down, Gables. Getting a little crazy now. No. I don't want to. I should probably rephrase a little bit for myself without. I don't think it's gonna be like a bad game
No.
or anything like that. I believe in retro, but I'm just kind of like, I was like, I really wanted to see what they can kind of do on their own or see what this is. I guess it's kind of like what I was saying with the Pokemon Switch rumors, where like I was saying like it probably I don't know how it's gonna live up to the all these hype and the rumors and the expectations we have for it, and I think what the hell is retro working on for the last 4 years?
I don't know.
It was like I don't like come to find out it's a Star Fox racing game. Didn't live up to the hype, I guess, of that, and then maybe there was no real chance they had. It could have been this really cool game and maybe that I new IP they had and it was looked really awesome, but it might not live up to the expectations of it. So I think we just put them on an unfair level, and for myself, anyways, and they had no chance of meeting that level. Uh, but I don't know. I guess we'll hear. Well, I guess we'll hear at E3 probably about
Yeah.
that. But moving on to our last Nintendo topic of the evening. This is actually not a rumor. This is all real. So there's going to be a Mario Tennis Aces demo. It'll be available to download on this coming Thursday on May 24th.
Awesome.
You can play offline. You can choose between Mario, Peach, Yoshi, or Bowser. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and read basically the article. So this is, I believe, from Nintendo Life or Nintendo Everything. Sorry, Switch owners may try out the game from June 1st to the 3rd in a pre-launch tournament. The demo will be found in a free software group and Nintendo Switch eShop beginning Thursday, May 24th. Users who join the tournament when it begins may choose from 4 playable characters: Mario, Peach, Yoshi, or Bowser, and compete in online multiplayer matches. The winner of those matches will earn points that can be used to unlock as many as 5 additional characters. The multiplayer tournament runs from 6 p.m. Pacific time on June 1st to midnight Pacific time, June 3rd. Nintendo said the demo will be playable offline against the CPU. Playing the demo will unlock Mario's classic outfit in the game's full version for those who buy it. It's not really a lot to say here as far as like this is not really that's much of a discussion to have here, but kind of it's the thing they've done. They did with Splatoon, they did with Arms, and then kind of same thing. And maybe they have to do this after the last Mario Tennis game that came out to the
On
Wii
Wii
U.
U, that was just
Yeah.
terrible and missing
Yeah.
a lot of features. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just get a game out there so we can say the Wii U's not dead yet.
I will say though that is definitely a good move on their part, considering that for one, it gives good good initiative and stuff like that for the people to just try out the game for themselves. Also, it's a great idea to include Mario, Peach, Bowser, and Yoshi because inside the Mario Tennis games, they each symbolize a particular type of strengths and stuff they have. Like Mario's all around, Peach is more or less best in technique. You have Bowser that's more or less good with power, and then lastly you have speed with Yoshi. So definitely good options of variety.
Yeah. So I already have this game paid for. I traded some games into GameStop a while ago, and I pre-ordered Hyrule Warriors and Captain Toad and Mario Tennis Aces. So this game's already bought and sold for me. But I'm happy that I'm gonna chance to check this out, and play it beforehand. And usually when somebody puts the demo out, especially this far out from the actual release of it, they're pretty confident in their game.
Yeah.
So, and especially Nintendo, they've been pretty good about. I mean, literally, Splatoon and Arms were sold because of those demos.
Yep.
So I think the same thing can happen here with Mario Tennis Aces. So, and giving you bonuses and getting stuff for the full game is also really cool. So, yeah, I don't know. I can't wait till Thursday to check it out and then try it out online the week after. But moving on to some non-Nintendo speak. Black Ops 4. We talked about this a few times throughout this year, but it was officially unveiled. I think on Thursday Thursday.
It was Thursday. Yes.
Yep. So they showed it's E3 Judges Week where they have this week, so they bring in a bunch of people from different industries, different websites, stuff like that, and they go in and they get to see some of the games that haven't been unveiled yet, and they get to see a glimpse of them, and then also get at some of them and they get to play and check out. So when it comes time to talk about when the games are finally unveiled, they can actually already talk about them and have the hands on with them. So every year during Judges Week, they show off the new Call of Duty game. This year, no different with Black Ops 4. It seems like, and it's actually been confirmed now. No single player campaign for Black Ops 4. So my interest in Call of Duty for the future notice is now gone. But they did actually show off. There's a bunch of new zombie mode. It seems like they're kind of putting a little more emphasis on the zombie mode. They showed off a bunch of new maps. There's like a Titanic map, a few other maps as well. It's gonna be more futuristic. So they show off some multiplayer, and also the battle royale mode that was pretty much been out there rumored for a while now is officially called Blackout, and it's what it sounds like is they didn't show gameplay of it, but in the video they posted, it sounds like you can play from a bunch of different characters from like past Call of Duty games. So it's like the greatest hits of like popular characters from Call of Duty. So you might have like Soap in there from Modern Warfare, and like the main characters from like the original Black Ops are going to be in there. So that's kind of cool, I guess, for that. And then also it sounds like they said it's going to be their biggest map they've ever made. No confirmation. They won't say how many players are going to be in a map, but they kind of zoomed out of some of kind of what seems like a decent sized map, and it sounds like they're splicing together some of like the most popular maps from past games and making kind of combining them together to make one big map. In a way, I'm sure it's going to be done a lot better than what it sounds like I'm saying. They'll try to make it seem like it makes sense. It's not like you're going to go from Nuketown to on the Alps or something in the snowy Alps or something in a blink of an eye. But basically, it sounds like Blackout mode is going to be battle royale mode with the greatest hits of Call of Duty. So I know that's not our thing. We're not multiplayer guys really, but I don't know. I think for the future of the franchise and what's kind of popular now with like battle royale. Obviously, the multiplayer mode and zombies is still one of the biggest things they have. It seems like it's a smart thing to do. We talked about this when it was first kind of rumored that the single player campaign was gone, but the campaign probably costs as much as everything else does in the game. Right. And it sounds like there's some like stats that came out that showed like how many people actually like started it, a Call of Duty campaign, and actually finished it, and it's like less than a third of gamers actually finish the campaign, and less than half actually start the campaign. So I mean, it sounds like it makes sense. It wasn't a big selling feature for most, and battle royale is. So and I mean, all of this makes sense from a business perspective to do that. What about you, Gables?
I think for the hardcore Call of Duty fans, this is probably exactly the type of Call of Duty that they probably would like to play. I would suspect as much, though. But I would also say that this caters more so not to Call of Duty players, but more so to like those that are very much into games like the Battle Royale style things like Fortnite and possibly PUBG and stuff. Try to get that audience interested in Call of Duty again, or probably get them into Call of Duty at this point. But let's see, for hardcore Call of Duty players and stuff, yeah, this is probably going to be a game that they're probably more or less looking forward to. Especially you got the new modes, the blackout stuff, the this and that. I'm trying to be positive with this type of stuff, but inside of a personal level, it's like what you just said before. It's like, we're not multiplayer guys, really, but I'll tell you what, from a gaming perspective, from someone who's gamed a hell of a lot in the past, like, 20-something years, it's like, no single-player campaign in the shooter game is like, I have no interest in this. Not at all.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it.
No, that's fair. Yeah, it's hard. I can't complain too much about it since I didn't even bother playing WW2 in the last Black Ops game. I didn't even finish. So, campaign-wise. So, yeah, one other thing. This is not a topic. I just want to mention it. Battlefield 5 It was officially Battlefield V. It was officially revealed to have that title, and EA will be revealing it on Wednesday, May 23rd. So I'm sure we'll probably be talking about that next week about that one.
Yeah, watch. You watch Tyler and stuff. They're probably going to announce that there is a campaign, and it's probably going to. And a lot of other the gamers or something are going to drift right to
Yeah,
possibly Battlefield 5, but who knows because of the whole Battlefront 2 shit.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, very well could be. I didn't really care for Battlefield's campaign, so but we'll see. But moving on, we mentioned it earlier in the show, but Rage 2 was officially announced. It was really weirdly done where we even talked about how it's probably Rage 2 was a game that was going to be unveiled on Monday on the 14th, and it was. And there was a teaser trailer on Monday, and then at the end of the teaser trailer they said, "Hey, come back tomorrow with gameplay trailer," which was really weird. Never seen that before. But they came out on Tuesday. They had a gameplay trailer. It looks like and the glimpses that it wasn't really. It was a bunch of like 5-6 second clips of different like things, different situations that you might see in the game, and a lot of shit, just a lot of shooting and a lot of things blowing up. But I got a very Borderlands vibe to it, and it's also going to be out. They said early 2019, so it sounds like a spring game. Did you get a chance to check out the trailer?
Honestly, I didn't really check out a lot of the trailer stuff. The only thing I pretty much thought of when the whole Rage 2 thing was announced Monday, when you sent me that link and stuff, it was like, well, that Walmart Canada leak or something like that probably is the real fucking leak.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just confirmed probably one of the most unlikeliest of fucking games to actually be announced at that event by Bethesda, no doubt. Yeah. And now I'm looking at the Walmart Canada listing and stuff over again, and it's like, yep, we're probably going to get Splinter Cell. We're probably going to get this and that and this and that. And it's like, wow. Just one employee probably just potentially just ruined all the surprises in some of those conferences at E3 this year. That is just crazy to me.
Yeah. That's a good way to sum it up, really, is like the game that was most people, I think the one that stuck out to people the most is like that's like the least likely of those to be the thing, is the first one to be proven to be real.
Yep.
So I mean that tells you right there. I mean, it's a very good chance now. It's even, I think a lot of people felt it was real, but I think that any real doubt is pretty much gone at this point for it. My thoughts on it: I didn't play Rage 1. I heard it was it was okay. But looking at this, watching some what we got out of it is like I said, it looks very much like a Borderlands-y kind of game, kind of style. I don't know if there's gonna be a 4-player co-op or not.
It's just basically completely different than the original Rage. I mean, the original Rage was ambitious for what it was. The only thing I remember most about it is it was a middling game at best, and that it had a lot of screen tearing issues on the PS3 version of it.
Yeah, I think that was the issue with the PC and the Xbox 360 version too.
Oh yeah, you're probably right.
It was kind of like supposed to be very nice looking. It was one like a graphical powerhouse for its time. But like I said, it's supposed to come out in spring 2019. There was a lot of talk when we might get Borderlands 3 this year, but then they just announced that Borderlands 3 will not be at E3, so that's kind of up in the air now. So my only real thought with this is that Borderlands is a much bigger franchise than Rage.
Yeah.
And if Borderlands comes out before, if it comes out like in October of this year, then I think it'll be fine. But if Borderlands comes out like in anywhere near within like 3 months of Rage 2 is, I feel like, unless they have this awesome campaign or this awesome like ad campaign and they sell it really well and they say all the right things, or this game comes out at E3 and they just like blow people away with what we see, I feel like Borderlands 3 is going to eat their lunch and it could like destroy Rage 2.
Potentially, yes.
And not maybe because it's a better Borderlands. I'm not trying to say Borderlands 3 will be a superior game, but just based off the IPs that we're talking about here, they got a massive head start on fanfare. So yeah, I mean maybe it's a good thing too. It got there before. I know Borderlands 2 has been talked about forever. There's screenshots out there, but there's some like really early tech demo stuff out there, but the mass public doesn't really know about it or doesn't even really know it exists. So being announced and shown off first, I think is great. And if it was the rules reversed, I feel like Rage 2 will be talked about much differently. But yeah, it's announced. We'll hear more at E3, I'm sure, about it. That just makes me wonder what the hell is Bethesda got at E3 that they're going to show off Rage before E3, a whole month before E3.
Oh,
so
man.
it's going to be a good show, hopefully. Or they just blew their wad early. Who knows? But we're running a little long, so I think we're going to wrap the show up here, Gables.
Okay.
But I want to thank you guys for listening. If you want to hear more from us, we have a Facebook page and group, Drunk Nerds Podcast. Like and join us on there. On Twitch, at Drunk Nerds Pod. Follow us on there at Twitch, Drunk Nerds Podcast. Follow and send us a friend request. We like friends. Friends are good. And at YouTube, we are Drunk Nerds Podcast, or Drunk Nerds, I'm sorry. Like and subscribe to us on there, and then like our videos on there. The podcast goes up in there. Gives a big thumbs up. We really appreciate it. And also on iTunes, we're on there. Subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, leave us a nice written one as well. Really appreciate if you do that. The more we get, more thumbs up, more 5-star reviews, more things like that we get, the easier it is for people to find us, which means more listeners for us, which we really, really appreciate. So once again, I want to thank you guys for listening. I was Tyler.
And I have been Colonel Gables. So until next time, everyone, I hope you have yourself a great week. Make sure to play plenty of games if you have the time. And once again, take some time out of your busy day to enjoy the Drunk Nerds podcast.
And don't call your boss a bitch. And one last thing, Gables.
What?
Too sweet.
Too sweet.
Boys!
And we out.